Hello and welcome. In no real order, I'm going to discuss the 10 things I dislike about the Yamaha Xmax 300 from 2019. So we'll start with the seat width stroke height. The biggest issue most people will find with the Yamaha Xmax 300 is the rider's seat. It's not that it's particularly high or uncomfortable, but it's so very wide that even with 5'10", I cannot flat foot this maxi scooter with both feet at the same time, which means you end up having to either slide forwards right to the tip of the seat when you're stopping, which can be quite easy if you're braking too hard, or you tip it over to one side, which again, if you're used to a tall bike, it won't be a problem, but there are situations where you need to be able to put both feet down to be comfortable. The seat height on paper is very low, it's only 795mm, and the bike weighing in at 179 kilograms, you would think this on paper is an easy bike to handle. And when riding, it is just that. Stopping, especially with a pillion, not being able to put both feet down, might catch you out, or that sudden hard braking stop, or being sat on a hill pointing downwards and needing to take your hands off the handlebars. If you are used to riding tall bikes, and this is the only way you're used to stopping a bike, then you will not find it an issue, as you will find yourself leaning it to one side or the other to get your foot down flat. Number 2 on my list is the keyless ignition, or the smart key fob. The keyless ignition is supplied with just one fob, not two, so should you lose it, you're looking at quite a large bill for a replacement. Yamaha could at least provide two, I think. But after all said and done, keyless access to vehicles is proven now to be easier to steal than the standard key-operated vehicle. Would I have keyless again, given a choice? No. I still have to take the fob out of my pocket and place it in a Faraday pouch whenever I leave the bike, which is longer winded than taking the key out of a lock and putting it in my pocket. The other thing with this is that sometimes you have to take the fob out of your pocket because of all the things that are in there that block the signal between you and the bike. So to number 3 on my list, the control switch. The multi-function control switch fitted to the bike, where to start with this switch. It's clumsy, unrefined and a little annoying. For a start, it doesn't instantly work. You have to let the bike communicate with the keyless ignition fob, and even then you don't just turn the switch to where you want it to. No, that would be far too simple an operation. Sometimes it feels like getting those child-proof medicine caps off. Regardless that you're moving it in the correct way, it doesn't respond in the expected manner. This, to be fair, is me not waiting long enough for the bike to have communicated with the fob in my pocket. The switch is not backlit, so in low light or near darkness, you'll be trying to find the correct setting, and yes, you can learn this with use, but should you have to, especially if it doesn't always respond as you expect, this can be mildly frustrating. I can't tell you how often I've managed to open the fuel cap by mistake, and yet been unable to figure out how to open it to put fuel in when needed. Or even getting it so it turns the right direction so you can put the steering lock on. It is a little frustrating to use. I hope they've improved this on the new model, but probably not. So to number 4 on my list, brakes and levers. The brakes compared to a motorcycle really have very little feel. Non-adjustable levers are fitted as standard, so this is not an easy thing to adjust. With my bike especially, the rear brake lever has hardly any travel, so you can feel very much like an on-off switch rather than a progressive lever. If the brakes are cold, they can feel very wooden, like you're not sure if you've applied them, and can make you feel very anxious about if they can stop you at all. Having had a pillion on recently, it certainly felt worse the more weight that was added to the Xmax 300. The back brake works better at stopping you than the front. Strange when you get off a motorcycle, which is the other way around. Number 5 on my list is the suspension. The motorcycle front end deals with most bumps very nicely indeed, but the rear shocks are very basic and have most of the job to do as they support the engine and drivetrain, your body weight and that of a pillion if you happen to have one. They are preload adjustable only. In normal use for single riding, I find the ride is very hard. Adding another person on made them softer and a bit more wallowy. But nothing really bad, but the pillion said they could feel every bump, even with the nice thick seat. You can spend thousands upgrading the suspension components to suit your personal needs. A little bit more adjustment would have been nice, but then again, you're going to pay for it, and I'm no suspension expert. So we get to number 6 on my list, the battery location / battery life. The battery is in a strange location, but a very useful use of space and good design. If only the keyless ignition didn't drain the battery. Yes, my dealer confirmed it's a normal issue and very common. So with a battery that's not super quick to access and one that goes flat on a regular basis, if the bike is not used, I find myself having to put it on charge overnight, so I know it will start when I need it to. There are a lot of videos available showing you how to access the battery location, but like me, you don't want to keep removing the fairing parts all the time. So I added a battery charging point, out of sight but with easy access, maybe for any keyless ignition motorcycle, that the dealer should put a charging point on by default. So number 7 on my list comes down to the lights on this motorcycle and the main beam. The lights on the Yamaha Xmax 300 are sufficient for town riding or riding in areas where you only need a dipped beam pattern. The high beam is a single bulb and light unit below the centre of the normal dip beam, almost completely useless when turned on to the point I could not see any difference on the road with no street lighting. If you're going to use this bike down unlit roads, add some extra lights like I did to turn on for high beam use. So to number 8 on the list, screen adjustment. The screen adjustment has to be done with tools and cannot be done quickly or easily while stopped or when on the move. There are also only 2 settings, and for me neither at 5'10" are perfect. So picking the best option or changing the screen or adding one of those little deflectors that go on top of your screen may help. But why do I have to unfasten and take it apart just to adjust it? So on to number 9. I've got to say the colours that Yamaha have come out with for the UK, and even looking at the new models for this year. Now I'm not saying blacks and greys don't sell, but a choice of colour in the range would be nice. I've seen aftermarket plastics in different colours, but unless I break one, I'm not likely to go and change them all. Probably just as cheap to take it and get it wrapped in a colour that's far fancier than anything you can buy from Yamaha at the moment. So to number 10 on the list, the storage. 44 litres, 2 spaces designed to hold your crash helmets. And if you're wanting to store a full face crash helmet when you buy this maxi scooter and you cannot take it with you, ask the dealer if yours fits. Mine is a medium size and will not fit in either section. I'm sure a jet style helmet will fit, but I've not tried one as I do not own one. Number 10 on this list is this crash helmet doesn't fit in the storage space. My crash helmet is a full face crash helmet, and you'd expect this to fit in the storage below that's specifically designed to hold 2 crash helmets, and you have 44 litres of storage. But unfortunately it's shaped in such a way that my medium sized full face crash helmet will not fit in any position I put it. Maybe it's because of the size of the shell, I don't know. So if you need your crash helmet to fit in your storage like you would do in a top box when you've parked up for the day, it could be in the office or don't want to carry it around with you, then you might want to see if the dealer will let you see if yours fits in before you buy it. I'm sure a jet style helmet will fit, but I've not tried one as I don't own one. I really don't want to leave you with all these negative points, and as I say, these me being nitpicky on most things, apart from maybe the brakes. But it's an excellent maxi scooter. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode or the latest channel content. And in the next episode we'll go over the 10 best bits of why I chose this maxi scooter and what I like about it the most. So feel free to like, share and comment and join me next time. Thank you.